This is the video about the BT809 speakers and how to disassemble them. I figured there are no instructions, so here we go. First thing, you need to remove the 4 feet because the screws go through and they hold the side plates in place. Second thing, you need to remove the front grille. This is not going to be easy to do without breaking it, so you need to be very careful. I recommend you to start removing it from a corner. And as soon as you can lift the corner, you need to put a long piece of metal, some rigid piece of whatever, and you use it as a lever to try to lift it without breaking. I actually broke mine here because I was lifting it from here. It broke through here, exactly where it's most fragile because of the holes in the grill. And I used the scissor actually from here on. And then I use the scissor kind of like a lever to help lift it without breaking it once again. So mine is cracked right here, as you can see. When you're using the scissor, you need to be very careful, or anything else you're using as a lever. You need to be very careful not to pierce the suspension of the speakers or the bass reflex port. So whatever you're putting down here, make sure it's very flush against the edges when you're using it as a lever to lift the front grille. Once you do that, you need to remove these 2 screws in each side. They're also holding the base plate, the end caps in place. Once you remove these 2 and the 2 feet, you'll be able to pull out this entire side. Actually, you don't even need to remove the feet here, but you do need to remove those 2 screws. Once you pull it out, you're going to be able to see inside the speaker, and you're going to be able to push. You're going to be able to use whatever tool you have to help push from this side to the other, because otherwise it's going to be very hard to pull it from the other end because it's fit very tightly. Both parts, they have this kind of a rubbery tape thingy that they use in order to seal the air, and that makes it very hard to pull them out. So once you pull the end which has nothing on it, it's probably easier to just stick a very long piece of wood in it, and then you push, being careful not to push the wires with it, otherwise you're going to be rupturing the wires. And then you use it to pull out the part here, which is basically the brains of the stuff. The keys here on the top, I didn't remove them. You're able to remove them if you pull out the stop here, but I'm not interested in doing that. The keys and the speakers are connected using these 2 connectors, and they connect to this part which goes in here. So this part is screwed together with 2 Phillips screws in these 2 corners, and once you remove it, you actually need to be careful because this glue is holding the wires in place, and if you just try to pull them apart, you're going to probably pull the wires out of the board, and then you're going to have a lot of pain soldering them back to the board. So you need to find a way to remove these 2 parts without pulling on this part. You need to be pushing. I used the plier and I gently held the board, the PCB, and I was pushing it in that direction, and then I managed to make it free from this. The batteries are going to be fit in this specific position here. As you can see, it's a lithium-ion battery pack. It's only 2 batteries in parallel, 3.6 amp hour, 3.7 volts. It's very little. So if you're looking at boosting the capacity of your battery, you can probably put better batteries or a bigger battery bank here. Although there isn't much space for that. But you might be willing to sacrifice some of the acoustic space inside the speakers to put a longer battery bank, I don't know. And then we have the board here. I basically disassembled it because I wanted to check what is the components we have on this board. What is the Bluetooth version of the chip and the amplifier. And this is the Bluetooth chip, it's the BK3266. And this seems to be the amplifier to me. It's the MIX3605. I think it's the amplifier because it's very near the connections of the amplifier, and also because it's the only major integrated circuit in this board.